Good afternoon and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't, check out the video that I'm going to put up at the end. It was from the Hoops Bar yesterday, and if you haven't seen the Hoops Bar in Guardamar, it's not the Hoops Bar in Tenerife, this is the Hoops Bar in Guardamar del Segura, and go and check out that video and you'll see how close it is to the beach and what a fantastic little beach that it does. Well, it's not a big beach, it's a big beach, but check out that video. Anyway, and this afternoon's version of the Celtic News, I'm going to talk about Brendan Rodgers and what he said to the players at half-time yesterday. When you look at it, I spoke in the earlier video about the one-touch and pass that we played, football that we played against Dundee a good few weeks back. When you look at Rio Hatate's goal, it was one touch and shoot, and it was a fantastically good goal, wasn't it? And then you've got the cross that come in from the one and only Alistair Johnston. And Alistair Johnston, then that ball was sublime, and it just lands right in the right position for Kyogo to get it into the back of the net. Let's hear what Alistair Johnston has to say first.
But you had to fight the conditions, I think, as much as St Mirren on the pitch.
It was really windy that first half. It was really difficult. I think it made us a bit predictable in the first half, just in terms of it was difficult to play a ball in behind, so they could get really tight to us. The second half with the wind, and again, our play style wears teams down. You can see in the second half, they probably didn't get as close, as much pressure on the ball, and we were able to show our quality. And again, the subs that came on did a great job. And yeah, it's great when you have guys like this who can have moments of quality like that and just. Outside the foot? Outside?
Yeah.
Right here? Top corner?
Should?
Yeah, you.
No, inside.
Oh, it was inside.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
well then I'm obviously need my vision tested, but it's a lovely goal.
It was a lovely goal. How important was the victory, Rio?
So it is almost so the game today. So because next game, so cup final, semi-final.
Semi-final,
yes. So I'm happy to the win the game today. Yeah.
And it's cup semi-final weekend next. Every single game now is going to be like a cup final in itself. Is that not fair to say, Alistair?
Yeah, no, it's exactly that. And that's the mindset we have. Now you can kind of really see the light at the end of the tunnel. We're almost there. The finish line's close, and we know that every single point matters. So we're excited by that. We're excited by that challenge. I think our crowd is as well. So it's going to be a big 6 weeks here or so. But again, we really look at this as an amazing opportunity for us, to come out of here. If we play our football and go in every match doing what we need to do, we can come out and make this a special season. So that's the aim.
One last thing to do, Alistair, I'm going to ask you to do the honours, Rio.
I'm watching Rio Hatate. If you've not seen this video, you need to go watch it on the Celtic channel. I'm watching Rio Hatate looking at Alistair Johnston going, he must be saying, what the fuck are you talking about? You've got to love Ali Johnston. Mr. Celtics talk a lot. He reminds me of people that you would meet back in the 1990s that had maybe had a gram or two of speed and they just wouldn't stop talking. And that's our very own Alistair Johnston. Not that he'd be partaking in any drugs, he just likes to talk a lot, does Ali Johnston. And anyway, it was a fantastic cross from Ali Johnston himself to get for Kyogo to score the goal. But he did ask Rio if it was the outside of his foot that he'd taken that shot with, the absolute screamer to get it into the back of the net. And talking about our Japanese players, the one and only Daisen Maeda took to Twitter, I'm now called X, I'm just going to keep calling it Twitter because it is Twitter. He took to Twitter yesterday evening after the game and he posted, "What's the most frustrating is that I won't be able to show my son, who loves soccer, playing. But right now I just have to trust my teammates and do what I can." Daisen Maeda scored that absolute cracker of a goal of the man that the Rangers, the Rangers fans were saying, the England manager's up to see your keeper because he's the best English keeper in the world. He's the best keeper in the world. And then Daisen Maeda went, "Yeah, hold my pint, mate. I'm going to score a goal right past you in about 30 seconds. But he is a bit frustrated about being out of the team just now, which is totally understandable. And I think that for Daisen, unfortunately, is one player that doesn't look like he'll be back before the end of the season due to it being a hamstring injury. And then we were just listening to the one and only Alistair Johnston saying it's a massive 6 weeks for Celtic. It's a massive 6 weeks. We can see the finishing line. And Rio Hatate thought it was the cup final next week. He's like, fuck it, just go to the cup final. Just give us the prizes. I love it, absolutely love it. Anyway, Kyogo has also been talking about he's relishing going back to Hampden. The 29-year-old, he has a record of scoring goals and putting fear into other teams. Aberdeen are the team that come up next Saturday at the semi-final, and Aberdeen, who handed back quite a lot of tickets. So to the surprise of Celtic and Celtic fans, and they gladly turn up the extra seats at Hampden. Kyogo, he scored in the Vidplay Cup final over Hibs, and I think he's only lost one game at Hampden, hasn't he? Let's just hope that he doesn't lose any more games and that he has that little bit of a streak that strikes fear. Kyogo says, yes, of course, I've got good memories of the Scottish Cup. My goal last year's final was a highlight for me, said Furiashi, but the semi-final against Aberdeen is a fresh challenge for us collectively and myself as an individual. We will show that we can win if we perform to our capabilities, says Kyogo. It's a tall order, but we can do it. We have to prepare ourselves very well this week. Yes, this week is the week that we go into Scottish Cup weekend. The frenzy around the Cup, the dream, the drama, the romance of the Scottish Cup. Celtic know that they get past Aberdeen. They then go to Hampden on the 25th of May, the 25th of May, which is iconic in Celtic folklore history. It is iconic in Celtic folklore history, and it's a day that will forever be remembered. And it's a day that this current team will also go down in history as double champions if it all goes the right way. Tell me what you think, because Kyogo, he's obviously not been performing as good as he could have this season. People are saying that Brendan Rodgers and Brendan Ball's playing him out of position. Brendan Rodgers is saying, look, when you look at it, the way that we play, we're actually playing pretty close to the way that Ange Postecoglou is playing. And talking about Ange, he's been slated. We're going to talk about him briefly because a lot of Celtic fans still have fond memories of our ex-manager. And he was told yesterday, you're not Celtic anymore, Ange. Former Tottenham Hotspur player told Ange Postecoglou he needs to realise that Spurs are not Celtic. Spurs are not Celtic. And they're playing a better calibre of side after they were absolutely... they were trounced 4-0 at St James's Park and slipped down into 5th in the league. Anyway, who cares about English football? Because I don't really watch it. Anyway, tell me what you think about Dyson Myra being frustrated about being out towards the end of the season. Brendan Rodgers saying to the team, still at this late point of the league, it's something that he spoke about at the beginning of the season, not being good in the final third, and he's still talking about it towards this end of the season. What's going wrong with this current Celtic team? Why aren't they performing every single game the way that the manager knows they can, the way that the players themselves know they can? Is it because other teams are sort of catching on to the way that we're playing, and should we give the other teams in Scottish football a little bit more credit? When you look at Adam Ida, he spoke yesterday about the other day he spoke about the form of other teams in Scotland and how good other teams in Scotland actually are. And he said himself, he says, look, before I came to Celtic, I was kind of one of those people down south that thought the Scottish League, it's not a fantastic league. I mean, when you look at it, it could be a better league. For me, for one, I've always said that we need to expand the league, get away from playing each other 4 times. That's absolutely nonsense when you look at it. Over the next 6 weeks, we could play Rangers 3 times. Is that good for the Scottish game? No, it's good for the TV. It's good for Sky, and that's all they want. But for me personally, I think that the SPFL should expand into a bigger league, and it'll make it a little bit more interesting. You know, there's not another league in the world that complains. I mean, Spain definitely doesn't complain about having to go and play Granada and such places and Cadiz. You know, they just see it as teams in the league. So why doesn't Scotland do that? Anyway, on that note, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure that you do give it a thumbs up, and I shall see you on the next one. Have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world.